Hello students. I think up to now you are cleared with the Lorentz force and the reason why a particle, charged particle, whenever it will enter in uniform magnetic field, then which kind of motion it will perform. So like as three cases we have seen, if at any arbitrary angle it is entering in a uniform magnetic field, then for that case it will follow the helical path. And if certain conditions are here, means if the velocity vector or if it will enter parallel or anti-parallel to the magnetic field, then that time it will follow the linear path. And also when it is entering at perpendicular angle to the magnetic field, you can say that means if it will enter in perpendicular directions, and that time also its path is something different, and that is circular path. And the radius, frequency, and the time period we have seen, and we have also seen that the time period or frequency of particle that is following the circular path or that is oscillating, you can see that there is no change in frequency and there is no change in velocity and radius with change in frequency. Or it means that simple, you can say that the time period or frequency of circular path that is not dependent on its radius or velocity there. So this is a key factor that we are using to make a device that is known as cyclotron. So next topic that we are going to study here, that is the application of the motion of charged particle when it enters in uniform magnetic field. So one by one I am just taking topics here. First we have discussed about the Lorentz force, or the force that any particle will experience when it will enter in magnetic field. After that we have discussed when if it is entering in magnetic field and suppose it is deflected by that, then which kind of motion it will perform that time, and if it is not affected, then which kind of motion it will do. So all that cases we have seen. Then now let's see how can we utilize that phenomena, that property of charged particle when it enters in magnetic field. So here a number of devices we have just made, like cyclotron, synchrotron, synchrocyclotron. So number of device we have here. We have to study cyclotron here. So cyclotron is a device first that is used to accelerate particle like proton, alpha particle, neutrons, such kind of high masses particles or heavy particles, you can say that we can accelerate these particles using this device. And this was invented by Livingston and Lorentz. I think in 1935 it was invented there. So here the main factor with the by use of this kind of device, we can accelerate the particle, means we can increase the velocity of the particle, we can provide them high energy, and by providing them high energy and in a number of processes we are using that. So later I will tell you where we are using that particles or this device in our actual practice. So before that, let's just discuss today what is cyclotron, what is the construction of cyclotron, what is its working principle, and how it is working, what is theory behind that, everything. Let's see one by one here about this. So first about the cyclotron, I think that is now clear. This is a device that is used to accelerate the charged particles. Second thing here, what is the principle of cyclotron? So the principle of cyclotron is whenever any charged particle that enters in electric field, or that any charged particle that is in electric field, or if we kept that in high potential field, then obviously it acquires some energy. And if with that energy it do some kind of circular revolution again and again, then you know that its kinetic energy that will increase that time. So simply here by the process we are providing electrical energy to the particle by using the magnetic field. So later I think when I will just explain the working of this, that will be clear. So principle exists in the fact here that its frequency of the revolution or frequency of charged particle does not depend on velocity or radius of the particle when it will enter in magnetic field. That's why here both kind of fields we are using, electric field and magnetic field. So electric field we are using to accelerate the charged particle, magnetic field we are using only to provide it a path. So by using that path, its velocity increases, or as you can say its kinetic energy increases, means a particle that that's velocity continuously increases, and as I'm saying its frequency does not change, the time period will not change. So by change in velocity, there will be also change in the radius, means it will just move on a helical path there, and finally when it will acquire a certain energy that we needed to give it, so we use that to bombard on some kind of target that, or in any application that we have to use here. So the principle is very clear. We are using electric field to accelerate the charged particle, we are using magnetic field to just provide it a helical path here. So that's why its radius and velocity can be increased, but there will not be any change in frequency. Means we are using the same amount of field here, but we can change radius and velocity according to that, and with change in velocity we can change its kinetic energy. So this is the basic principle of the cyclotron, means the property of charged particle when it enters in magnetic field. And you know that when any charged particle that will enter in magnetic field at perpendicular angle, then that time it will always follow the circular path. So let's see this property that we will use here in the case of cyclotron. So first before just coming to its working or theory, let's just see what is the construction of cyclotron. So in the case of construction of cyclotron, we have two same hollow, very small hollow and half cylindrical Ds. So as they are called Ds because its shape is like D shape. So or D letter, you can see such kind of two hollow cylindrical metallic things we have. So these two are called Ds here. So these are hollow, that's why you can just make it hollow also. So I'm not going to just make it, as I'm saying already. This is hollow metallic cylindrical Ds here. Next thing, these Ds have put perpendicular to the strong or you can say that these we are just enclosing these Ds in a high vacuum chamber. High vacuum chamber means the pressure is very low here, nearly 10⁻⁶ pressure is here. That's why air molecule cannot interact with the particle here, that cannot create any kind of chaos here. So that's why here only a vacuum chamber we are just making. So here it means that whole of the instrument we have to keep in high vacuum chamber. So first we are taking these two Ds, after that we are just enclosing that in high vacuum chamber, and also after enclosing that we are putting a strong electromagnet perpendicular to it, because when we will keep the magnet perpendicular to it, so whenever any charged particle will move, then that will start to move at 90° angle, perpendicular angle, and it will start to move on a circular path. So here these two was electromagnet, between this we have just kept it, and this is for north side of the electromagnet, this is south. Clear? So these are the basic, only a raw diagram I'm just going to just made it here. So with the help of that you can understand its working also and its construction also. So this is the basic thing, and also this one, these Ds we are just connecting with a high potential source here. So here this is high potential, or you can say that high frequency accelerator. This is high frequency accelerator, and as you know that the electric field can accelerate the particle, that can change its speed easily. So that's why whenever we are just increasing the potential, it means that we are increasing the repulsive or attractive power towards any positive or negative charge particle, whatever the particle that can feel attraction or repulsion towards the potential. Greater will be the potential, greater will be the force that it will feel, and greater will be the acceleration there. So that topic we have discussed before in current electricity, so I think that is now clear. So it means if we will use high potential source here, then we can accelerate the particle. So this is the basic diagram, basic construction of the cyclotron. Here only these things we are using. We are using a strong electromagnet, a high potential source, a vacuum chamber that is very high vacuum. I just told you low pressure should be there so that air molecule cannot interact with the particle here. Next thing, here 2 Ds we are using, that is made up of some metallic conductor. And next thing here at the end of these Ds we are just making a window here. Window means through which particle can go outside, and here at any angle we are just keeping our target on which we just want to bombard the particle. So why actually we are bombarding the particles? Later you will just study the nuclear reactions, like nuclear reactions means somewhere light particles that are joining together to make a new heavy atom, or sometimes heavy atoms split up into 2 or more parts to convert them into stable nuclei, and in that process a huge amount of energy we are getting. That is called nuclear reactions, and in that case I think by the name you are familiar, that is nuclear bomb and hydrogen bomb, atom bomb you have seen. So the reaction behind that, in which we are using the high accelerated particle, means high energy particles, very high velocity particle that can go to interact with some atom, so that that atom can split into 2 or many parts. So later you will see that, but here I think that particular concept is clear, why we are using this high particle, why we have to accelerate it, and where we can utilize it. I will say just to explain that in application also. Now let's see after the construction, I think that is now clear. After the construction, let's see what is the theory behind it. So as I told you already, here in the principle or theory we are using the concept that whenever a charged particle that is moving or that is entering perpendicular in any magnetic field, then it follow the circular path. So here as we have applied these are conductors, and in which particle start to move, means high magnetic field is present here perpendicular to this. So whenever charged particle will enter in this T's, then that time it will move on in circular path. So it means that in every D's, suppose this is our D1, this is D2, so in every D's it will just to move half circular path. So whenever it will enter, it will move in circular path, and whenever it will enter in this high frequency, again it will feel acceleration, it will again start to move in D2. Later I will tell you how it will move in from D1 to D2 and how it is accelerated. So basic theory is this thing, like we have just discussed before, whenever any particle will enter at perpendicular angle, then definitely it will just move in circular path. And here one more thing, you can utilize the property of arbitrary angle also, means whenever particle will enter at arbitrary angle, then that time also you know that it will move on helical path. So it will just start to move on helical path, means if particle start from here, then continually its radius will increase. And here one thing is the most important thing, if you have seen the case of time period and frequency that we have calculated in both of the cases, like when theta was 90 or theta was arbitrary, in both of the cases time period and frequency was same, that was independent of radius and velocity. It means it was, if you will see, this is 2 pi m upon qb. This was the time period, or frequency if we will say, that is reciprocal of time period, that is qb upon 2 pi m. So it means that the frequency or time period that is going to taken by the particle to move in these D's in, or you can say to move in this magnetic field, that is only dependent on a charge of the particle, mass of the particle, and the magnetic field or electromagnet that we have used here. So as we are using constant magnetic field, and it means that simple thing, whatever is the angle at which it will enter, only angle should not be zero, because that time it will just move linearly. So that's why in linear motion it cannot attain the high velocity. So here if you will see the radius in which any particle is moving, so radius is given by r is equal to this is mv upon qb, sorry. So here as this is the radius of the particle on the circular path in which we are it is moving, sorry. So here as you can see that all these things are constant. It means that whenever radius will change, then velocity should also be changed there to maintain the frequency or time period, because whatever is the as radius of the circular orbit, there should not be any change on frequency and time period. So only to it can be maintained whenever velocity will also change with the radius. So this concept we are using in cyclotron basically means with every change in its radius, particle will get more velocity, and when it will get more velocity, then obviously its kinetic energy will increase in every trip. So continually when it will accelerate toward between these D's, then continually its velocity increases, and ultimately it's you can see that finally the kinetic energy increases up to the limit when what we needed here. Clear? I think basically its theory, its construction is now clear. Let's see its working here now. So in the case of working, we are using, suppose we are using a positive charge particle here that we have to accelerate here, and that has charge small q, that has mass small m, and the electromagnet that we have used, it has magnetic field B. Now this particle starts to this particle is here, and as when we will connect these D's with high frequency potential, then you know that the one of the D's will be at negative potential and another end will be positive. So positive end will repel the particle, but negative end will attract it. It means that it will feel acceleration, or it will feel force to move towards this D1. So it means that it start to move to this D1. It is at negative and this one is at positive that time. So whenever it will enter in magnetic field, then that time you know that in magnetic field when it will enter at perpendicular angle, then you don't have to do any kind of work to move on that, because it is that time just moving on a circular path. So when you know that whenever any particle that is moving on circular path, that is facing a constant or uniform force, or that it means it don't have to do that any kind of work, because the closed path on which it is moving, so that whenever particle will move on closed path, then work done will be zero. So it means that whenever the particle will enter here, it don't need now energy. So without any energy, this can just move on these D's on the circular path here. So it means that particle will start to move from here and it reaches here. When this particle reaches at this point, then up to that, as it is oscillator, this AC frequency we have used here. So until it reaches here, its polarity changes. It means that time for this particle, this one become positive and this D's become negative. So whenever when the D's become negative, this become positive, it means that it feel repulsion from here. So it will just move out from here, and that time it will attraction here. So as it is already experiencing some force here, Lorentz force in magnetic field, and that force we have seen that is equal to QVB. this force it was experiencing, and again it start to experience the new force. It means the force is increasing here. So due to increasing force, there is change in its path, that is. So here at greater radius it start to move from here. So now in this stage its path becomes some kind of helical, you can see. So again when it will enter, then it will do the same kind of behavior again and again until it reaches a final just velocity that we needed here. So one more thing, in every circle you can see that up to now its radius is constant, but when it just out from here, due to acceleration of this field, it gets some more energy, and due to increase in its energy it moves on a greater radius, and due to movement on greater radius its velocity increases every time. So that factor should be clear here. Particle is not getting any kind of energy due to magnetic field. Only magnetic field support it to move on a circular path so that it complete a rotation here. The acceleration, the energy that is increasing here, that is due to this potential that is providing an acceleration here or a movement to the charge here. So every time when it will enter at greater radius, its velocity increases, means its kinetic energy increases, and finally when it just reach a particular kinetic energy that we needed, we just take out this particle through this window. So this is our window, and through this we just bombard this particle on the target that we are needed. So this is the construction, working, theory, principle of cyclotron. So that is our thing now clear. Here the two fields, electric field and magnetic field, we are using at one place to just accelerate some charged particles. Means we are accelerating charged particle using electric field, but we are using magnetic field to give it a proper path, to just give it a greater radius, and through which we can increase its velocity there. So I think the concept is now clear, simple thing. As frequency and time period is not changing, so the change in radius velocity should be changed. Means always the particle that will enter from this field to this field, then that will accelerate, that will achieve the greater velocity, and through this it can achieve a high energy that we just wanted to give to the particle. So through this process we can accelerate the massive particles like proton, neutron, alpha particles easily here. So I think the whole of the process about the cyclotron, that is now clear. So if this is clear, then let's see what can be the maximum velocity or maximum kinetic energy of the particle that it will achieve here. So the maximum kinetic energy, that should be it means that the max, before just taking out the window, the radius that it have covered there. So suppose r0 radius it was covered when we have taken it out the window. So for that trip you have to see the radius, and that radius will be obviously equal to mv0 upon q into v. So at that time suppose velocity is v0. So let's see from here what is the value of v0. So this is r0 qv upon m, and if you will just take half mv0 square, so this is the kinetic energy of the particle, and this is maximum kinetic energy, as this is maximum radius that it has covered, and for that time velocity is maximum, and for maximum velocity obviously its kinetic energy will be maximum here. So k0 will be equal to, here you can just write down v square here. So there should be m square, and 1m will be cancelled out. So directly I am going to write it. So r square q square b square upon 2m. So this is the maximum kinetic energy that any particle can attain in through the cyclotron process, or when it will enter in cyclotron. So I think when cyclotron and its working is now clear. Let's see what is the limitation of cyclotron. There are some limitations of the cyclotron also, where we cannot utilize this process. So first limitation is, whenever means we cannot provide a large velocity to the particle here, because you know that whenever the velocity of the particle that is increasing, then with increase in the velocity its mass also increases, and that is the concept of the Einstein's special theory of relativity. So according to the special theory of relativity, mass is related to the velocity, and that is the relation for the mass that is equal. So as according to Einstein mass relationship, this kind of means with change in velocity mass also increases, means greater will be the velocity, greater will be the mass of the body. And if mass of the body or particle, charged particle that we have uses, that start to change, then the frequency of the particle, or sorry, the motion, that was 2 pi m upon qb. This was I think, no, sorry, this was the time period, just opposite to this was qb upon 2 pi m. This was the frequency of the oscillation there. So with change in mass, obviously its frequency will start to change, and the key factor to make the cyclotron was that frequency is not changing. Means if there will be the change in frequency, then particle will not acquire that kind of velocity that we have needed there. It will start to change its frequency also with change in radius and velocity. So it means we cannot accelerate any particle to a high velocity in cyclotron. Only up to a certain velocity you can accelerate that particle. Means the velocity of the particle should not be very high there. Clear? I think this factor is now clear. Second limitation is here, that is we cannot accelerate very light particle like electron in cyclotron. So why? Actually, in the previous region, there was one region also, when the frequency of the oscillation start to change, then that time with change in that frequency, when particle get out from the 1Ds, that will not suffer or that will not feel any kind of polarity in potential, so that it will start to oscillate there. So that's why oscillation stopped there. Reason by the reason of that, we cannot just increase the velocity up to a greater limit. Second, like electrons, we cannot accelerate in that. So as you know that electrons are very light particle, its velocity mass is very low. So for the low mass particle, whenever we will start to accelerate it to, through any cyclotron, then as you know that light particles will achieve greater kinetic energy in comparison to the heavier particles. Means in one round, due to acceleration, electron will receive more energy as compared to proton. Means it will start to move on the greater radius in one round. Means the space within the Ds, it can cover only in 1 or 2 round, and in that 1 or 2 round even it will not acquire that kind of velocity. So that's why it will just come out from the Ds even with not the proper energy. So that's why we cannot just increase electrons in cyclotrons there. Third limitation is here, we cannot accelerate neutral particles like neutrons here, because here we are using the property to accelerate the charged particle. As charged particle can be accelerated only when it has some charge like positive or negative. Means we can give it some attractive or repulsive power only when we can utilize the cyclotron principle and its property. So neutron cannot be accelerated through the cyclotron here. So these are the limitations of the cyclotron that we have to keep in our mind when we are using the cyclotron here. Next thing, here what are the actually uses of the cyclotron? So after the limitations, let's see what are the uses. So as by using cyclotron we can accelerate even massive particles very efficiently. So that's why we are accelerating just to proton, neutron and alpha particles, and after accelerating them we are using that particles to bombard on some nuclear particles, like the heavier particles on which we are bombarding that, and we are utilizing. After bombardment we are just making some new stable nuclei, and also we are receiving a great amount of energy. So that energy we are using by the help of nuclear reactors. So these particles we are using in nuclear reactors even. So these are very important basic particles to start any nuclear reaction. So before starting any nuclear reaction we just have to pass the particle through the cyclotron. After that we can utilize their clear, I think. Second application is here, we are using cyclotron to accelerate the particles, and by accelerating that particle we are using to detect some new particles, or using to produce some new particles. So whenever in any nuclear reaction you will see we are producing some new particle by bombardment of the particles on some atoms there. So I think all these things you will that will be clear whenever you will just study the topic of nuclear reactions later. So that time I will again discuss the application of cyclotron there also, how we are just accelerating the particles there. I will discuss that again. So basically we are using cyclotron to the main purpose is to accelerate the particle. After accelerating we are using it several places, like to just produce the new particles, to receive the high amount of energy through nuclear reactors. We are just synthesizing new atoms there by using of that. So these all things just relate it here. I will just discuss in nuclear reaction chapter also. So I think students main thing was that how we are utilizing the magnetic behavior, magnetic property that a charged particle is showing in a uniform magnetic field in cyclotron. So I think that is now clear. It's working, its construction, everything is clear. Then let's end the class here today. In next class let's just discuss the rest of things of this chapter. A number of important things are here still, so let's just see that in next class. So thank you students.